Some of the eagle-eyed among you may have noticed that I've had company here lately. I think some of you were concerned for my safety when you saw a shadowy figure creeping around in the background of some shots, but don't worry, it was just my mum. She was here to stay with me for 6 weeks, and despite having to always be careful where I was pointing the camera, it was really lovely to have some help on the farm and yeah, to spend 6 weeks with her, working in the garden and doing lots of lovely stuff. But the other day she headed back to the UK, so I'm back here on my own again while Maoro's in the city. To be honest, I didn't really have time after I finished working in my previous job to get into a routine of my own here on the finca at all. After I finished, it basically rained for like 3 weeks and I was trying to do the hot water project. The solar failed, we had problems with the generator, it was all just a bit crazy. And then my mum came, so yeah, now I'm on my own. It kind of feels like the first time I'm kind of settling into my own kind of routine. I guess I'm just trying to figure out what my routine is, how to balance all the things that need doing, you know, how to stay healthy and sane and feel like I'm accomplishing things but without burning out, how to prioritize things, how to balance the fun stuff with the not so fun but has to be done stuff. Anyway, I don't have any answers on that. I'm trying out a few systems, I guess. I'll let you know how that goes. In the meantime, here's some of the stuff that we've been doing over the last 6 weeks. One of the first things we did was to cut down a dead, diseased tree, which was just outside the front of the house near the garden area. It was definitely not a priority at all, but it was something that we looked at every time we came out of the house and thought, oh, that tree needs to go. So we thought it would be a fun, satisfying job to do, and it really was. We got a lot of material out of just one dead tree, plus a few other branches that were tangled up with it. I was actually really impressed with the mini chainsaw that Mauro got me for my birthday, much to the amusement of some of you I think, but honestly it's been a really good present. I tackled basically the entire tree with just this little mini chainsaw running on a battery, so that was pretty cool, and it's really made us think about whether we need a bigger chainsaw anytime soon. Since we don't have a wood chipper and most of the wood was dead anyway and easy to break up, we actually processed all of the wood on the spot, which took us about 2 days, but I was glad to have that job done and not have yet another pile of branches lying around to have to deal with in the future. Well, our kindling stores are now full again, which is really good because we've got right down to the last of our kindling. This year we bought pretty much all of the wood that we burnt, apart from our kindling. We probably spent about €300 on wood to burn this year. We've still got a few more weeks when we'll probably light a few more fires, so yeah, I'm guessing we'll have spent around €300 by the end. Next year it'd be nice to spend a little bit less, although it's not a huge amount anyway. You know, for a heating bill for a year, it's not massive. But yeah, it'd be nice to use a bit of our own wood next year. With that tree gone, it's just opened up so much space, and I think what we want to do is this path here that goes into one of the top sort of terraces of the vegetable garden. We want to extend it around here where that tree's come out, because at the moment, if you want to go into the vegetable garden with a wheelbarrow, you have to cross the acequia, the little water canal, and you have to go on this little, I don't know, bench thing. And then you have to cross the canal again. It's a little bit awkward, so we're going to bring the path round here. So we've been to the wood chip place again. There's actually a field pretty close to us where they were previously chipping pines on an industrial scale, and for a while there was a huge mountain of pine chippings there, and we thought, oh great, I wish we could get some of those. But by the time we figured out who it belonged to, the mountain had gone. But they did tell us that we could take anything that was on the floor that the big machines couldn't pick up. So we've been a few times now with shovels and bags, and sometimes just putting it straight in the back of the car to collect basically free wood chip, which is amazing. Talking of wood chip, I've actually been reading this book lately, the Wood Chip Handbook, which is very interesting if you're into wood chip. And yeah, it's really cool what they do with wood chip, some of the ideas in this book. It makes me wish that we could get more of it down here, get a huge delivery, do some composting, really do some of the cool stuff that they do in this book. It's quite labour intensive to get this wood chip here, so at the minute we're really just using it for paths, and we're using it quite sparingly. But yeah, if you have a source of wood chip, it's such a cool resource. I'm so happy with this area now. It's looking so much more open. This little strawberry tree here, it's got some fruits just starting to form. This was so productive last year. The fruits are ready around October time, and they're really tasty. They're nice to make into jams or eat with cereal or yogurt or anything like that. And this tree has a lot more space now. It was very crowded on this side by that dead tree that we took down, and yeah, it was hard to reach a lot of the fruits as well, so that should make things easier this year. And it's just so nice to see this area full of life, full of plants. We've got broad beans growing. We've got some chocolate mint, some cabbage. We've got some chives here that I planted the other day. I found a big clump and I separated lots of them and planted them here and there. We've got chard, broccoli, some artichoke at the back, more chard, coffee bean. We've got the kale bed here as well. More broad beans down at this final end, and a bed of nettles, which I'm leaving because there's so many uses for nettles. I personally just like to have the tips in tea or to add them to a stew or something like that. If you're going to boil them in any way, that deals with the stinginess. So they actually just have like quite a nice flavour when you've boiled away the sting. So I'm guessing these nettles are growing here because we're just in front of the wormery, which seeps like a very rich kind of worm tea into the ground. And nettles are going to be loving all that nitrogen. So I'm just leaving them because it's great to have nettles. And yeah, it's just so nice to see this area full of plants and full of life and just lovely to walk through, because I remember so well what it was like when we first moved here. It was just completely impassable. We also decided to build a wildlife pond. Again, this was not a priority. We have enough bodies of water around the finca to worry about without adding another one into the mix. But again, it was something that we thought would be fun to do, and it was. Well, I think I've got the shape done. It's kind of hard to see with the shadow falling on it at the moment from the trees, but there it is. There's a deeper end and there's a few shallower bits and a bit of a ledge towards the front, which hopefully I can plant a few things along. If you're struggling to figure out where this is, I wonder if I can show. We're just in front of the house. So there's the house there. That's a little patio area in front where I always do odd bits and pieces, and then just over this little stone wall is a very overgrown area. There's our shower, which is a little bit collapsed at the moment. A huge pine tree. This is really what's creating this amazing little microclimate, I guess, here. This huge pine, which keeps this whole area shady. It drops its needles and it creates naturally a really thick mulch on the floor, underneath of which is lovely, dark, soft, rich, damp soil. So that's why I thought this little area would be nice for a pond, because it will not be in direct sun at any point during the day, which means we won't have to worry about algae evaporation. It's not a huge body of water, so it would evaporate very quickly if it was right in the sun. So yeah, hopefully it will add something nice to this little area which we're trying to tidy up and clear up. While I've been digging, I've been trying to keep any little saplings that look particularly interesting in a pot of water and soil, just in case any of my friends want any. These are shoots from a lilac tree, I think, and this is what I think is called a lime tree in English, and I can't remember what the name of it is in Spanish. I'll double check that and put it on the screen. And over here, loads more little shoots from the lilac tree. So the final component, some toad spawn, which we found in a puddle on one of our terraces. It's been raining such a lot lately that there's quite a few puddles in various places, and yeah, we thought we could bring it up here. If not, the puddle's probably going to dry out over the next few days, and yeah, we think it'll be happy here. But mostly what we did actually was planting and gardening. That's what we had in mind. That's kind of why my mum's visit this time aligned with spring and this period that we've got where we have such a lot to do, and I knew I would be free from work. She would never admit it, but my mum knows a lot about gardening and plants, and she had a lot to teach me and show me. And it was just really fun and really, really nice to spend, yeah, pretty much 6 weeks in the garden together. Especially now, you know, in April and May, when the garden has just really been demanding a lot of attention. Now that I've got the new greenhouse, which is just here, we're going to try and fill it with seeds. I really need to organise these seeds. There's no organisation at all. They're mostly just in boxes according to time. So the seeds I've had for longest are in here. Some more recent ones are in these other boxes. I don't know, I need to sort them out. Yeah, I'll show you a few of the seeds that we've got and where they've come from. I've got a lot of seeds from Les Refarles, which is a Catalan seed company. They come in these lovely brown paper packages. I've got lots of seeds that you get in garden centres from these types of companies that you see all over the place, garden centres, co-ops, these sorts of places. I've got some seeds from a company called The Real Seed Company from the UK, and I really love these because they have really interesting varieties. They breed and grow a lot of really interesting stuff. The packets are lovely, and the packets have really good instructions on them as well, which I really like. I did a big order from a seed company called The Organic Garden, which was here in Spain, and they have sent me loads of little seeds in these little packages. Most of the seeds I bought from here are really warm weather loving things like peppers, so I probably won't plant many of those today. We've got lots of odd little jars of seed that I've saved myself or that I've brought over from the UK with me, stuff that I've had for ages, or stuff from successive years of growing the same thing like this kale. And then we've got the big box of local heritage seeds that Mike sent, which you've seen before, and a few in here as well. I've also got a load of little seeds that I got from a friend. So yeah, a whole mix, and none of it's ordered or organised according to variety or season or anything, so we'll see what we can find. Well, it turns out we're actually out of seed trays. So yeah, we don't have enough of anything. So I think we're going to pot up some of these peas, free up this tray. Also this tray of calendula, which they're not huge, but in my experience they do alright in the ground at this size. And this other tray here, we've already potted up a few from here, so I think we'll try and get these all in the ground. Well, here's my pile of seeds that I want to sow today. It's far too much to fit in here, but I'm just endlessly hopeful. think we've got about 10 or more calendula gone in the ground now. I've just planted them anywhere I could find space for them really, which is in between all sorts of other things. This is a bed of, it's a kind of pea. It's kind of vetch actually. It's a bit of an experiment because I had never heard of it before and found it in a seed catalogue and I thought it looked interesting to try. Apparently it grows really well in quite dry conditions. And then I looked it up on Wikipedia and it said it has some palatability issues. So we'll see what those are, I guess. This bed that we took the cabbages out of, we've planted up with some peppers. It's been really nice to get in these beds and pull back the straw and look at the soil underneath, because these beds, we did them about a year ago and they've had stuff planted in them since then. And yeah, it's nice to see the state of the soil after a year. I just remember it being really dusty and grey and pale last year. And now it's so much richer, much darker, crumbly and deeper as well. Like I can get in so much deeper than I could last year. So it's nice to see the improvement of the soil. We've also planted this clump of what's called garlic chives, and yeah, it's really cool. It's like a little clumping plant which has leaves that taste very garlicky, and you eat the leaves like you would chives, and you get like a nice garlicky flavour. They're actually quite nice just to munch on raw. We found a whole line of this plant, well, a couple of rows of it growing in one of our fields, where it was obviously like planted as a crop in the past, and it's like spread itself, and we dug some up and replanted it. I'm just picking some sage for a sage tea, and I'm going to pick some chard behind me for lunch as well, I think. But I'm going to leave this video here because otherwise it's going to turn into a garden update video, and I am planning to do one of those really soon and show you everything that's going on in the garden this spring. But for now, I think that's it. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you have a good week, and I'll see you next time.